Hello, today we are doing mission 3, which is writing an equation from a verbal expression. So first we're going to go over some vocabulary. Hopefully these are words that you know already. Our first vocabulary word is sum. The sum of two numbers is simply just adding up those two numbers. The difference between two numbers really means we are subtracting. The product of two numbers is multiplying. Sometimes we use a dot. And then last, quotient is really division. I put another word over here. We have is, and I'm going to put the word and over here. When we're reading a sentence, if you see is, for example, down here, if we look at number 1, it says, the sum of 6 and a number is 15. If you see that word is, that means is equal to. So if you see is, replace it with an equal sign. And then if you see the word and, for example, here it says the sum of 6 and a number, the difference of a number and, that's where you're actually putting whatever that operation is over here in that place. So that's where you're going to put your adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing, whatever they say. So if we start reading these, we have to match our verbal expression or our written sentence with what is it really as an equation. So the first one says the sum, so I know I'm going to be adding, the sum of 6 and a number is 15. So I'm going to put this plus sign wherever it says and, is really our equal sign. So we're adding 6 and a number. Anytime it says a number, pick a letter to represent that number. I'm going to pick X. So I have the sum of 6 and, so plus that number, X, equals, is 15. This matches, they picked N for a number. You could have picked N, A, X, whatever letter you want. That matches right here. So 1, the answer should be C. You can kind of draw a line to connect them if you would like, or just put C right there. Next, it says the difference, so I know I'm going to be subtracting. The difference of a number, we can use N or X. A number and 6 is 15. So again, is equals. Our subtraction sign goes where the and is. So we have n minus 6 equals 15. That matches with answer choice A. Now we have two options left. It says the product meaning multiply. 6 and a number is equals 15. So we're really multiplying 6 times our number, 6 times n, equal to 15. Well, none of those look like that. However, when we have the 6 and an n next to each other, we know that's multiplication. So instead of writing 6 times n, they just wrote 6n because we know it's multiplied. So that would be answer choice D, right there. And that leaves B left over, so we know this one's B. However, let's read it. It says the product, again multiplying, of 6 and 3 times a number. So we're multiplying 6 times, and then it says 3 times a number. So 3 times our number n is 15. So this one, you're multiplying the 6 by that whole piece. They put it in parentheses. However, if they're touching, we know it's multiplied. So that one is B. Let's try a couple on our own. It says, write a verbal model and solve. The difference of 6 times a number and 9 is -3. What is the number? So that's the solving part. We're going to actually have to solve this in a second. So first, difference means we're subtracting. The difference of 6 times a number. So 6 times a number is 6 times some number. We don't know what that number is. I'm going to use X. And 9. Remember, anytime you see and, that's where you're putting that operation. The difference of 6 times a number and 9 is equals -3. So this part went together 6 times a number. That was here. And means input your operation. We had subtraction. Now we just have to solve it. This is a two-step equation. Get rid of adding and subtracting first. So I'm going to add 9. So we have 6x equal to, now there's more positives, there are 6 more, 9 minus 3 is 6. And then dividing by 6, we get x equal to 6 over 6, which is just 1. If you're not sure, plug it back in for x and see if you got it right. Alright, next it says the sum of 4 times a number plus negative 6 is 14. So this one they kind of gave you a hint because it says, well, 4 times a number, that's just 4 times some number, x, plus negative 6. They already said we were using a plus, so we know that is a plus. Plus negative 6 is equal to 14. So we're going to solve this. We really don't need the plus sign because we have a negative 6. To get rid of that negative 6, we're going to add 6. So those eliminate. And we have 4x equal to now 6 plus 4 is 10, so 20. And then last, the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So divide by 4. And we get x equal to 5. All right, let's flip over to the back side and try a couple more. This one, it just says to write a verbal model. We don't have to solve it. Don't solve. Oops, that's a T. All right, it says the sum, so we know we're adding. Oops, that was not a highlighter. The sum of 4 times a number and 7 is 19. So remember, and is where we put that operation we're adding. Is equal to, so we really have 4 times a number, 4x, plus our 7 is equal to 19. All right, next, 6 added to the quotient of a number and 3 is 8. So we have 6 added to the quotient of a number and 3. A quotient meaning we're dividing a number divided by 3. So some number, and we're dividing it by 3, has to equal is 8. So I'm just taking the sentence and writing it out as they have it written. Next, the sum of 7 times a number and 3 is 45. So sum is adding, we're putting that addition sign where it says and this, that's what we're adding together. So we have 7 times the number and 3 plus 3 equal to 45. Last one here. 15 decreased by 6 times the number is negative 9. So 15 is just 15. Then it says decrease by. Decrease meaning going down. We're really subtracting. 6 times a number. So 6 times some number x is or equals negative 9. If we wanted to solve these, we could. We don't have to. Last question here. It says, which number sentence matches the verbal expression? So it says 3 times the difference between a number and negative 4 is 18. So we have 3 times, or multiplied by, the difference between, so difference meaning we're going to be subtracting, a number and negative 4. So our and is where we put that operation. So we have the difference between a number, I'm going to use the letter n to represent that number because they did in these equations as well. N, and we're subtracting a negative 4. Now, we want 3 times this whole thing. 3 times that difference. So once you find the difference between these two numbers here, you're going to multiply it by 3. So really what we have, if we look at our 2 answer choices, option 1 or option 2, we really have option 2 over here because we're taking 3 and we're multiplying it by this whole difference here, n minus a negative 4. So we really have 3 times n minus negative 4 is 18. So we know it's equal to 18. This one would be 3 times a number minus a negative 4 is 18. Or the difference between 3 times a number and 4. That's how this one over here would be written. And it doesn't say 3 times the number. It says 3 times the difference between that number and 4, like number 2 says. All right, your exit directions. Oops, it says mission 2C. It really should be mission 3 today.